In this presentation, we will be examining a cross-cultural comparison of two distinctively different musical cultures. In particular, I wanted to present the musical cultures of Katajjaq and Mariachi due to the fact that both musical cultures represent a rich history along with everyday usage in the country they are practiced in. Both musical cultures serve important needs of their communities. However, both take completely different routes to which the music is performed to an audience. The outline for this presentation is as follows. We will focus on the 7 topics of form, place, origin, musical culture, musical elements, musical instruments, and lasting effects. We'll take each topic one by one, analyzing both musical cultures of each topic. At the end of the topic, we will do a takeaway of the key differences or similarities between the cultures. Let's begin. Our musical cultural journey begins with the throat singing technique formerly known as Katajjaq. This form of music is practiced and performed by a woman of the Inuit Native Americans. Facing each other, the two women perform as a duelist. The second musical cultural we will examine is Mariachi. As many of you would know, Mariachi is an ensemble of string instruments with the addition of trumpets. To describe a certain number of performers that are in a mariachi ensemble would be an inaccurate statement. Mariachi bands can go all the way from quartets to 12 or more instrumentalists performing. Also, both genders can perform in a mariachi ensemble. The takeaway of the form of these two musical elements is evident differences. Katajjaq is performed by a woman duet vocal performance, while mariachi is performed as a cordophone and aerophone ensemble. This ensemble can range in gender and number. Our second topic of comparison is place. The Inuit establishes its territory around the Arctic Circle. Most profoundly found in northern Canada, Inuit Native Americans are also known to live in parts of Alaska, Siberia, and Greenland. The geography of the frozen barren lands in North America are significant to the Inuit tribe musical culture. Original mariachi ensembles were birthed in the Mexican state of Jalisco in the town of Cocula. Today, mariachi music is played all over Mexico. As for the takeaway, aside from the difference that the musical cultures are practiced in different parts of the world, there is a main difference that flows into Inuit culture. Katajjaq serves as a getaway to pass time for the harsh conditions in which the Inuit tribe live in. I will explain more on this later. The third topic of comparison is origin. Back in time when Alaska and Russia were connected, there was a strip of land called the Bering Strait which served as a pathway from Asia to North America. The Inuit tribe crossed over this land around 12,000 years ago, where they made their modern presence in northern Canada. Researchers estimate there are about 100,000 Inuit tribesmen and women scattered across the Arctic Circle. Katajjaq was birthed by the native people themselves. Other civilizations had no influence on the way throat singing is practiced by the Inuit tribe. Early mariachi ensembles were made up of a quartet of instrumentalists that strictly played chordophones. These quartets were influenced by the Spanish theatrical orchestra. The arrival of the conquistadors in Hernan Cortes in 1519 flooded natives with the knowledge of professional musicians, thus having a direct impact on mariachi as we know it today. The addition of Spanish instruments such as the harp and the viola to Mexico, along with the blend of musical cultures from colonial Africa, Spain, and indigenous populations of Mexico, created what we know as mestizo folk traditions. Mariachi music serves as a branch to this category of folk music. As for the late addition of the trumpet to mariachi ensembles, we think jazz musical culture which inspired its way into Mexico during the start of the 20th century. The key takeaway difference I would like to note between the two origins of the musical cultures is that Katajjaq had no other influence to its music but from its own people. Mariachi, on the other hand, has its origins from a blend of other musical traditions and cultures that weren't native to Mexico. Our fourth topic of comparison is culture. Interestingly, Katajjaq is a profoundly female-dominated musical culture. Typically, two women will face each other while they hold on to each other's arms, executing a balancing dance act while they both sing. Katajjaq is used by the Inuit tribe for multiple reasons. These include putting babies to sleep in the freezing cold, using it as a way for women to pass time while the husband is out hunting, and is also used for celebrations and festivities. A final use of Katajjaq would be for competition. A competition involves seeing which woman can last the longest during her throat singing without falling off beat or making a noticeable unneeded facial expression. This is especially hard for the secondary singer or the resonator as they have to base their responses off of the lead singer. One of the best symbols of nationalism for Mexico is mariachi music. After the Mexican Revolution in 1910, mariachi music is labeled as a cultural token to Mexican history. Thanks to the effort of Silvestre Vargas and his historical mariachi ensemble, music saw its influence grow as it reached Mexico City in the mid 1920s. Once urbanized, this cultural phenomenon took off as it served as a cultural element towards the daily life of Mexicans. Unique to the mariachi band is the fashion they wear. Described as a traje de charro, or Mexican for horsemen, this outfit entails tightly fitted ornament wool pants, an embroidered waist-length jacket with silver buttons, a belt, boots, a lengthy bow tie, and a large sombrero. In transition, interesting to mariachi music is the different sones heard around the country. Sones refer to the different number of instruments and instrumentalists which are present in different dimensions throughout Mexico. Different sones can also refer to the usage or non-usage of vocals in mariachi. As for the dance associated with mariachi, it is performed by professionals. Nicknamed as a zapatito, this dance originated in Spain. It entails performers driving the heels of their boots into the dance floor, working on keeping syncopated rhythms which complement the different tempos of the musical instruments. In everyday culture, mariachi music makes its way into Mexican lives. An interesting usage of mariachi music would be the serenading aspect of the musical cultural. Using a wide range of timbre to act as a brighter, gloomy song, Mexicans who purchase serenading music mariachi ensembles try to win over their heart's desire. This acts as an element to the rite of courtship between two lovers. In other usage, mariachi music can be seen in the following: baptisms, weddings, patriotic holidays, funerals, birthdays, conventions, store openings, company parties, civic celebrations, political campaigns, religious services, bars, theaters, restaurants, and is also included in radio and television shows. As you can see, mariachi music runs deep in Mexican culture. There are a lot of key takeaways when we examine the culture that go along with Katajjaq and mariachi. One of the differences that should be noted is that mariachi music runs deeper into the nationalism and history of Mexico rather than Inuit throat singing. Another difference between the two musical cultures is the attire they wear when performing. For Inuit throat singing, dress is autonomous as the two performers will decide what they want to wear. Many of the times the two will dress alike. As for mariachi, the principal outfit that runs throughout the musical culture is the traje de charro. All members of the mariachi ensemble will be dressed accordingly, matching in style. Another difference is the dance associated with the music. Katajjaq dance is performed by the vocalists themselves. Mariachi music has its own separate dancers that perform the zapatito. Both mariachi and Katajjaq music have important everyday usage. Both cultures use their music in celebrations and festivals. However, there are key differences that separate the everyday use of these musical cultures. For Katajjaq, the Inuit tribe use their music as a source of competition. For mariachi, Mexicans use their music as a source of serenading, and they try to incorporate mariachi into constant daily usage. A fifth topic of comparison is musical elements. A Katajjaq chant begins when the lead singer calls out a motive, or theme for the song. From that point on, the song is 100% improvised with calls and responses from the two singers. The homophobe style texture of Katajjaq keeps listeners engaged as the secondary singer tries to stay in melody with the lead singer. The chant includes a specific pattern of intonation and a pattern based on the alteration of sounds that are voiced and unvoiced, and are breathed in or breathed out. The pitch of the song goes from low to high as the leader calls out low-pitched words, with the secondary singer calling back high-pitched words or syllables. The rhythm of Katajjaq always contains a swift, half-beat tempo. Most important to the mariachi ensemble is the viola, as it is the determining instrument for the rhythmic pattern of the ensemble. The unique heterogeneous texture of a mariachi ensemble is created by the dissimilarity between the different pitches and dynamics played by the instruments. The bright sounds of the violins and trumpets shared with the low-pitched sound of the guitarra, shared with the high dynamic sound of the viola, all come together with different melodies to create a brilliant on-beat rhythm that is aesthetically pleasing to those who listen. As for the takeaway, due to the fact that both musical cultures perform their music in different ways, there is bound to be differences in musical elements. As for a difference, Katajjaq music is improvised in an open structure atmosphere, whereas mariachi music follows a script for all the instruments. Another difference is the texture of both musical cultures. Katajjaq utilizes a homophobic texture between the two singers, while the mariachi ensemble uses a heterogeneous texture where the different instruments are played in unison. As for similarities, both cultures have a swift tempo to their performances. In addition, both cultures make distinctions of how high and low pitches will be made. For Katajjaq music, low pitch sounds are made by the lead singer followed by high pitches of the secondary singer. For mariachi music, the viola makes up the high pitches of the ensemble, with the guitar serving the low pitch sounds. The other violins and trumpets fill in the gaps. Our sixth topic of discussion is instruments. Katajjaq is a vocal-only musical culture. There are no added instruments. That being said, there's a lot that goes into the lyrics of the chants and songs. The lead singer produces a short rhythmic motive that she repeats with a short silent gap in between. This gap is filled by the secondary singer's vocals. Throughout the song, the motive is repeated several times with morphemes used to replace the rest of the song's lyrics. Morphemes are words or parts of words. These can have no direct meaning towards the motive. They are simply used to keep the rhythm flowing. Morphemes may include ancestor names, animal names, archaic words, toponyms, and random syllables that are used to describe nature. Previously mentioned, early mariachi completely differed to what we know it as today. The urbanization of mariachi music from the heartland of Mexico City brought about new changes to the genre of music. Existing string instruments were doubled, while some mariachi ensembles discontinued the use of the harp and guitarra de golpe. In the 1950s, the jazz culture swept into mariachi music as the trumpet duet saw its entrance into what used to be an all-quarter-form ensemble. A complete mariachi ensemble will include 12 or more instrumentalists. Standard instrumentation of a full mariachi ensemble includes 2 trumpets, 6 to 8 violins, a nylon string guitar, a viola, which is a high-pitched 5-string round-back guitar, and a guitarra, which is a low-pitched, small-scaled bass in the ensemble. Optional instruments of mariachi music include the harp, which ornaments the melody, the guitarra de golpe, an additional guitar, or an additional trumpet. In addition to the instruments, some or all the mariachi members sing along to the music they are playing. For the takeaway, an easy category that separates Katajjaq and mariachi is instruments. As noted, Katajjaq utilizes no instruments. Mariachi music uses a wide range of quarterphones with the addition of trumpets. Finally, our last topic of discussion is lasting effects. Katajjaq mariachi groups made their first appearance in America at Los Angeles in the mid-20th century. This opened up the door for mariachi music to be spread across America. In addition, Colombian music is highly influenced by popular Mexican mariachi traditions. As for Mexico, mariachi music continues to serve as a symbol of national pride. For the takeaway one could expect, Katajjaq music is still widely unknown to the general population. Mariachi music, on the other hand, has been popularized in America and in other parts of the world. This concludes our cross-cultural comparison between the two musical cultures of Katajjaq and mariachi. I included the hyperlinks to the musical examples in the comment tab if you wish to listen to.